Thank you guys for coming out. It's awesome to see that all you guys, even the seniors, care so much. SGA, no one's back for the SGA vote, but we like it. The more the merrier. So today is our third of 4 debates for East Chapel High School student government. Today is the vice president's debate. We have 4 candidates. The candidates are Zac Johnson, Jennifer Qian. Jennifer Qian. And Kevin Brett. And then we will move into our 5 questions. All candidates are going to be asked the same question and we'll have 45 seconds to respond. After each candidate has the chance to answer, there's a 30-second opportunity for each candidate to rebut 1 time. At the end, each candidate, after we've done all the questions, each candidate will have a 1-minute closing statement. We ask that all audience stays silent, including cheering and clapping, throughout the debate until the end. All right, without further ado, we're going to start with our opening statements. We'll move right to left, starting with Zac, with the opening statement, and then after that, we'll move into the questions going in reverse order. Thank you guys, and hope you enjoyed.
Hey everybody, my name is Zac. As you probably guessed, I'm running for vice president. I'm really passionate about local government and helping the community. I am very involved here at East, and I'm involved in the community as well. My main goals this year are raising awareness for the arts, raising awareness for mental health issues at this school, making sure that bathrooms have the right materials, that you can actually use the bathroom, raising participation in sporting events and school events, doing a lot more of Wildcat Wednesday, and overall creating an environment that's safe and that people feel valued at this school. Thank you, and thanks for coming out today.
What's up?
Hi guys, my name is Jennifer Qian. I'm a junior and I want to be your next vice president. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. Like, everyone's really dressed up in Wildcat here, so. But if I'm elected vice president, throughout my 3 years of being at East and being in student government and a lot of other clubs, I've seen a lot of really cool things about East, but also some things that I think that we can improve. So my #1 goal if elected vice president is to make East a place where people want to come and people want to have fun with their friends and achieve, I guess, also in classes. So to implement that, I think first we need more school spirit, so more functions, more events, and also higher turnouts at sporting events and things. Second of all, I want to have more representation of the student body, because as student government, we're supposed to represent you guys. So I want to think about ways that we can help people come up and talk to us, so we can do the things that the students actually want. And then finally, I want to make sure that everyone just has a fun time. So thank you.
What's up, Wildcats? My name is Justin Tucker. I'm running to be vice president for next school year. Ever since coming to East Chapel Hill for my incoming freshman orientation and seeing the SGA officers make a presentation, I realized that being an officer my senior year was definitely something I wanted to do. This past year, I was on SGA as a senator, and I had the opportunity to plan certain events such as the homecoming tailgate and Olympics. If elected, my main goal would be to make every student at this school proud to be an East Chapel Hill Wildcat. I know I am, and everyone should feel the same way. We go to the #1 public school in North Carolina, so why not treat our students like this? We need to make SGA events more fun, and we need to make every single student excited to attend them so that we can make the attendance as high as possible. Vote for me as vice president, and I promise you next year will be your most fun school year yet.
I like that.
Hello everyone, my name is Kevin, and I'm honored to be here with these other stronger candidates.
I promise to be a lady and who listen to you and who represent to you and you connect and find ways to be part of our school and carry the test. Thank you so much.
For our first question, we'll start with Kevin, working in reverse order. It's how many Spring Fests have you attended, and what is your vision for this event?
I have been to the Spring Fest 2 times. I think the Spring Fest has been overscheduled in the past. Spring Fest will be more fun and social. We have a lot of activity open to students and let them decide where to go with.
So I've been to one Spring Fest at my time here. It was during my freshman year. I had a lot of fun at Spring Fest. I'm also planning on going this Friday. One thing I think that we need to try to incorporate is we need to make more students aware of what's going on at Spring Fest. And if we make the events more fun for people to, and if people can really get excited about going to Spring Fest, then people will stay and they'll want to go. Because I know a lot of people, they use that as a way to like take a day off from school and not go to school. But honestly, I think the best, we need, for Spring Fest to be successful, we need people to come. Also, another thing, I believe we should probably have Spring Fest on a day like Wednesday that's in the middle of the week. We can get, it's less likely for people to skip that day because it's in the middle of the week. And it'll be a good break in the week. So that's my thought.
That one.
So I've been to 2 Spring Fests. The first one I attended my freshman year, and I did some classes. And the second one I actually helped run, like just run around places and give people the supplies they needed. So what I think is for Spring Fest, like earlier we had those classes where you had to sign up for a class, and I know some people, like when they sign up late, like there weren't that many classes they were interested in. So I think that for higher turnout, like Justin said, like Spring Fest can be like expanded if more people come, and that way is to like have more fun events at Spring Fest. Instead of having classes where like things can fill up and then like some people will be left with classes they don't want to attend, and some people will sign up for classes and not turn out anyway. I think it would be easier to have like more events that everyone can sign up and know about beforehand, so that people can come to Spring Fest and have fun.
I've been to, out of the 2 Spring Fests offered to me, I've been to none of them. I was either out of town or I took the day off to de-stress, which I think that a lot of us here in this room can relate to taking a day off. I know that attendance is painfully low in Spring Fest, and I think that many ways that we can improve that are by making the activities at Spring Fest a lot more representative of what the population actually at East wants to do. I think we also need to make information on creating classes a lot more available to the students so that people can lead classes that they're interested in. I think student government could also provide grants to classes that if they want to do something a little bit more expensive, they could do that as well to get a lot more involvement. I really like the other ideas that the candidates posed about making sure that students are more involved. And I do think that attendance at Spring Fest is imperative for its success.
All right, thank you. Now, each candidate has the opportunity to rebut if they want. They'll have 30 seconds. Anyone want to rebut? Okay, moving on to the next question. 45 seconds for each candidate to answer. We'll start with Zach, moving back to Kevin. What do you think is the most important tasks and responsibilities for this position, and how will you coordinate and work with class reps and senators and student government?
I think that one of the most important jobs as vice president is working with all of the other positions in student government, raising awareness for these positions and making sure that people actually show up to attend. There's a lot of facets of that, and I think that school spirit is definitely one of them. We need to increase school spirit, making sure that people actually want to show up to these activities, make sure that these activities are fun. I think that as vice president, I would be really good for that job. I'm super involved, and I'd really like to work on these activities. I'd like to make sure that class reps actually are communicating with their body, the class that they represent. And I'd really like to work with the class reps to make sure that we're actually doing activities that the student body would like to do to make sure that attendance is at the right level.
So I think the things needed for a vice president, 3 of the most important things are leadership, communication, and also facilitation of like ideas and things. So for like my 3 years at East, being in student government and like also some other clubs, I've have a lot of experience like learning how to like communicate with people and also lead, but also like taking what other people are taking too. So in a group setting and individually. So like being able to creatively come up with solutions and then like as Zach said, work with other people to make sure that the things that we come up with are implemented well. I think that's something that's very important. And also time management. I feel like as this year as a junior, I've done like a lot of things, as some of you might know. I've done a lot of different clubs, and it's been really hard, but also I've learned a lot from it. So like doing all these things will help me with class. Thank you.
So I believe that the most important thing for especially the vice president, but also SGA as a whole, is to increase, I know this is a little cheesy, but to definitely increase spirit in our school. Like my main goal is to make every single student proud to attend East Chapel Hill, and the way to do this starts with student government. It starts with them hearing what the students want in the school. So I think one example we should do is we should put a Google form connected on the SGA website for any student that might be afraid to speak up to one of us in person, but they still want to have their idea heard. We need to listen to everyone's ideas, and especially the class representatives. That's such a good way to have underclassmen voices be heard in, especially like in the class period for student government. With underclassmen in that class period, they will be friends with younger students that might not want to talk up to student government, so that would just be a good way to hear everyone's voices.
Being able to student ideas is one of the most important part of the job of vice president. Of course, I will publish my email address, but I will also make myself available 2 times a month during lunch for dropping meetings with my fellow students.
So I think that school spirit is really important. I also want to stress the importance of creating an environment at East. And I think this is really important for student government. Creating an environment at East where people feel safe and valued. I'd really like to create an environment at this school where people, like the other candidate said, feel proud to come to this school. And I think that to have school spirit, it's important to recognize the issues of mental health at this school. Thank you.
All right, would anyone else like to rebut? All right, moving on to our third question. What is your #1 initiative you would like to implement if elected, and how will you accomplish this? So we're starting with Kevin, and back towards that.
It is simple. My main goal is to give you a wonderful student government, something that you are proud of, and something that reflects the strong reputation we have at East. Thank you.
My #1 initiative, as said before, was that I want to make everyone proud to go here. And I also want SGA to work more closely with administration to get actual stuff done that will actually affect the school. Like a lot of people talk about how like the bathrooms are they're missing a lot of supplies a lot, they're dirty a lot. I think the SGA can fundraise our own money and spend some of our own money into doing just work around the school, make it a more pleasant place to be in just overall, because a lot of times if we were to go to administration, they might say, oh, we don't have enough money for that, like we need to have money for like other stuff like in classroom and stuff like that. But if SGA can raise our own money, then we will have our own say in what to fix in this school.
My #1 goal at East is also just to make people want to come to East and have a good time, no matter like, because even though it's like really stressful at times, it can still be a place that people can come together, sit with their friends and have fun. So my #1 goal would be to have more representation from like the student body. So like for suggestions, just like Justin said, we can have a lot of different ways in which the student body can communicate with us. So like the student body and student government communications would be something that I would really like to focus on. And also just having more events like Wildcat Wednesdays where you can have maybe food, you can have fun. And then also maybe inviting like maybe speakers to come in, so talk about like opportunities that like people might be interested about in the future. Like maybe have some speakers come in and talk about a specific event. So thank you.
My number one initiative that I want to initiate at this school is creating an environment, like I said before, where people feel safe, welcome, and happy to come to this school. And there's a lot of things that fall under that. School spirit is definitely one of them. Getting people to come out to events. Communication between student government and the students is also really important. I'd also like to support a lot of departments that are losing funding this year, and a lot of departments where people don't feel represented. I'd also really like to do a lot more with the community. I know we had this year Challenge Day, and a lot of people found Challenge Day to be very helpful, where people were allowed to talk about what they were feeling at this school and their stresses. I'd definitely like to do a lot more with that. I'd like to do a lot more with the community as well, and involve the community in the school with speakers and seminars and maybe even some more summits.
All right, would anyone like to rebut?
30 seconds. I would just like to say that while our priority for SGA should definitely be to focus on the school first and what the school wants as a whole, I feel like after that, after we get the school all on the same page, all proud to be an East Chapel Hill Wildcat, we can then go into the community, we can make a difference, we can do stuff in the community. We should have like different service projects that our whole school does as a whole. Because if everyone can come together, people will feel a lot more strongly about the cause, and people will actually want to help the community.
I also agree that, like Justin said, that having like communication between the student body and like just representation of the students in student government, I think that's the most important. So before we like move on to like many things in the future, like we can definitely take a lot of considerations with that. But right now, like I think the thing we should focus on the most is making sure that the students are represented and that we can make maybe we can make you guys proud to be Wildcats and happy to come to school.
All right, moving on to our fourth question. What unique skills do you have that would benefit student government?
I have a lot of experience, which I think can be very helpful in running student government. This year I founded a club that works with the homeless shelter, and I've got a lot of organizational experience with that, management and communication. For the past year, I've served as senior patrol leader in my Boy Scout troop, so that essentially I'm in charge of making sure that meetings and campouts run smoothly for about 60 to 80 people. I also have experience in organizing trips to New Orleans and protests in Raleigh. I have a lot of leadership and speaking skills in team court, where I serve as an attorney. And I've experienced in student government with leading the people. This year I served on the Wildcat Wednesday committee, and I did a lot with actually helping the Wildcat Wednesdays get accomplished and getting the right materials that we needed.
So some qualities I think that will really help me in being vice president are that throughout my years I've been like in the leadership of a lot of clubs. So especially being the president this year has really helped me like organize things and make sure that like everyone in the club knows what's going on, like what dates are going on, and also like planning overnight trips. So making sure like that everything is like organized and we can finally go there and come back without that many hitches in like planning. Furthermore, I'm also the captain of the Frisbee team, so it's really cool to like talk to my teammates and be able to cheer them on and also like communicate between coaches and other teammates. And then finally, I think that like in juggling all these things, like communication as like a non-union secretary, like all these things will help me organize things well and be a good vice president.
This past year, I was on SGA as a senator, and I planned certain events. I was on certain committees to plan events. And also, I think the biggest thing for me that makes me the most experienced up here is because I genuinely enjoy going to all of the SGA events in previous years. I like going there. I like being able to see, okay, what's working right now and what can we fix next year? What can we do to make it better next year? And that's really what I like to do. I like to go to events. I really like to tell everyone else to come, as many people as I can. I like to do that. I feel like I have a leadership voice in this, at least in this school. I feel like people can come up to me if they want help on anything, especially like school spirit, stuff like that. And
I think the big role of clubs at is one of our school great treasures. Where I'm already in student government, I have friends in many clubs, and I understand what our clubs need. They need visibility and they need more money. And I will listen to the ideas of students about how they can increase their membership and how they can fundraise, and I will talk with the master to make those things happen.
Thank you. Anyone like to rebut? get the question. This question is a personal question. We will not be rebutting after this question. So you just have your 45 seconds. That's it. Quiet down, quiet down, quiet down. The big question is, describe a time when you had to manage a project a certain way. This may include making an unpopular decision and delegating certain roles. All right, Kevin, starting with you.
This question I don't understand and I don't think something.
So something that I've done in the past to help plan a project, I've been on multiple committees in SGA. So I planned the homecoming tailgate, that's one thing. I also worked there as, I was like picking up trash there. Like I've been doing different things in this school to like help plan and run events more smoothly. Also, I've had, being on the basketball team at East, my freshman year I was captain of the JV basketball team. So there I have a leadership role, and being able to like have my teammates, look up to me to do certain things on the court to guide them, that's just some experience I have managing other people, like, or just being able to have people come up to me to ask for help and being a leader in projects.
One of the things that I've done last year for Dance Marathon was that I was part of the food committee. So this is like a community where we would go out and then ask for different restaurants if they would to serve food for us at Dance Marathon, and if they have any like coupons and stuff that we can give out. So one of the harder things that I had to deal with, like our committee had to deal with, is that a lot of like the restaurants needed like a lot more turnaround time, and we weren't really notified of that beforehand. So in the end, when we were getting people to come out, only like 2 people came out to go actually talk to restaurants. So I feel like that's like a really good way how like I handled things in terms of like communicating with restaurants and actually going out and talking to people about it. So I think that's something that would really like help me increase my success.
This past spring break, I organized with a few other people in the community a trip to New Orleans to work against the effects of Katrina that are still going on down there, and a lot of systemic racism. So on that trip, planning for that, I had to organize a bunch of events and talk to a lot of organizations to work with, like Rodat Youth Farm and the Center for Equitable Living. So I did a lot of communication with committees and communities, and I had to recruit people to come out, and I made a lot of decisions where people weren't necessarily happy with the places that we had to go, but a lot of people understood that the places that we were going weren't necessarily